Private labeling is so good that even Amazon are doing it. Today we're talking about what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they're making it a success, and we're doing it right now. That's right, guys. Private labeling has become such a huge thing. It's a hot topic of conversation. There's millions and millions of searches just about this topic every single month on Google and on YouTube. And the reason is because it is an incredible business model. Well, so incredible that even Amazon themselves, they didn't want to sit on the sidelines and just take everyone's referral fees and fulfillment fees. They actually said recently, we want to get in the private label game. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what Amazon themselves are doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. And hopefully it's going to help you take the first step or the next step in your private label journey. If this is your first time watching and you want to build a business that's going to bring you financial freedom in your life, well, make sure you start now by hitting that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss a thing, and let's get into the video. So I just saw this article come up yesterday, and it talks about how Amazon are moving into their own brand of furniture in the UK specifically, with this Movian and Alcove brands here. And this is like quite a big step from Amazon. Obviously they're going into furniture, which is potentially to rival places like IKEA. They've obviously gone with quite a Scandinavian feel with some of this stuff here, when you actually have a look at it. But this is like another big step after Business Insider last year did an article, July last year, talks about how Amazon now actually sells 76 of its own private label brands. And now Amazon don't sort of shout too much about this. It's not like commonly known. If you buy from one of these private label brands that Amazon actually owns, you wouldn't necessarily know that it's an Amazon backed brand. But what this does show us is that Amazon is super keen to be in the private label business. And the reason for this is many and varied, which we'll get into in just a moment. But let's take a look at this article real quick and see some of the brands that Amazon actually has that they're selling. Here's a list of them. You can find this you can find this on the link up here, or you can obviously search in Google for it, but it'll be quite easy to find, and it will list out the brands that Amazon is selling. Now obviously this could be great for research purposes, because here's 76 brands that Amazon is backing, getting behind and putting money into, and so it's a great research project for you. I'm not going to sort of look into each of these for the sake of time, but maybe you might want to look at them and research them and look what Amazon is doing. Many of you would have heard of Amazon Basics, which is a big one of theirs here, but all of these other brands, they've got so many different brands that you just never would have known if you were buying from them, like Trailside Supply Co and Sweet Alice and Spotted Zebra. You never would have known that these are Amazon based brands, but Amazon is investing heavily into this development of private label brands. And so I wanted to take a few minutes just to try and help us all learn from this process, learn from this development, and understand what exactly Amazon are doing, how they're doing it, and really why they're doing it, and then why that might affect our decision making and what steps we take to build a brand in the future too. So let's analyze some of these thoughts. All right, so the first question we need to ask is, what are they doing? What are Amazon doing with this? Well, the two biggest models when selling on Amazon, there's lots of different models. You've got arbitrage, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, drop shipping. But for the sake of volume and what are the most popular methods of selling on Amazon, we're just going to look at two right now. And the first one is wholesale. Wholesale, which means when you buy goods from a supplier that are branded goods, that are goods that have been created and branded by somebody else, and you buy them at a discounted price, a wholesale price in bulk, and then you sell them at a higher price and take the profit. And now this is something that Amazon have done in the past. The basis of Amazon's revenue is their 15% referral fee on their platform and their fulfillment fees using their FBA program. But we also know that that nearly half of the goods sold on Amazon are sold by Amazon, and these goods haven't always, most of the time, been been, up until recently, been Amazon's own goods. They've actually been other branded goods that Amazon themselves are actually wholesaling. So the business model that they've been doing up until recently has been a wholesale business model. But private labeling is the other main money-making method on Amazon, the largest scale in terms of revenue. And now this is what Amazon are starting to delve into. They've been doing wholesale. They've been working with other brands on an Amazon listing. You'll see often it will say on the listing that it is sold by someone and fulfilled by Amazon. But if it's Amazon selling this product, if they are wholesaling this product, then it will actually say sold and fulfilled by Amazon. And this is when Amazon will approach a brand and they see a product selling well, and they will say, hey, do you want us to look after the selling of your product on Amazon? We'll basically buy from you in bulk. We'll pay you a wholesale price, and then we'll control the rest. And some brands choose to do this because it's hassle-free. Really, ultimately, they're leaving a lot of money on the table because of the way Amazon optimize their listing and manage those products, but that is an option for those brands. Now, Amazon are realizing that actually wholesale is great for a lot of reasons. There's some good aspects to it, but actually there are some reasons that Amazon now are going into a private label market. And it's really key for us to know when starting businesses that if a massive player like Amazon is going into the private label world, then really that's a great consideration for us to have about what is the best route to take when we're selling on Amazon. So what is private labeling? You might ask if you're new to selling on Amazon, you're new to e-commerce. Well, private labeling is basically where you take goods that are produced by a manufacturer, a factory, whether that be in China or in the US or the UK, locally, whatever that may be, that you get goods that are produced by someone else, i.e. not in your own factory, not produced by your own machinery and your own hands, but they're produced by someone else, but actually they create the branding and the packaging and the identity of the product to reflect your brand and your company. There are some great examples of this. One of the examples I often point to is the brand Anchor. Anchor are an incredible success story of the private label world. This is a private label brand that has really been, utilized the power of Amazon and Amazon FBA to grow to a company that now does over $500 million of sales, and just is an incredibly successful story of the Amazon ecosystem and private labeling. So Anchor are a private label brand. These goods that they produce are produced in factories mostly in China, and they're not Anchor factories per se, but these factories, they probably have a lot of exclusive deals now with factories, but when they started and as they built up, they didn't use exclusive Anchor factories. The factories that they used would have been producing goods for many other companies as well, but all they would do is they would put the Anchor logo on these goods, and you see here now they've got so many different products. They're doing incredible amounts of revenue and are really pioneering in the private label space. So Anchor are a great example of what is the power of private labeling when selling on Amazon. So we understand what Amazon are doing, but the question obviously has to be asked is why are they doing it? Why Amazon, a company that is so successful and makes so much money, why are they doing it? Well, there's two main reasons that I consider why Amazon are doing this. And the first one is their profit margins. Now, I've talked about this in a video before. I talked about, I'll put the link up here right now. I talked all about how Amazon need more sellers, right? They need more private label sellers on their platform because their profit margins are just so low. They are expanding so aggressively, and their margins are low. In real terms, their margins are around 4% year on year profit margins, and in order to grow and expand at the rate that they are, they just can't sell all of their own goods. They need private label brands to be able to produce more profits and grow as quickly as they desire to. And so partly I believe the reason that Amazon are expanding into private label brands, and significantly so, is because the profit margins are higher. Wholesale, typically you'll be looking at 10 to 15% profit margins, sometimes higher, but generally your profit margins are somewhat lower. Whereas with private label, your profit margins, you want to be starting at 20% as an absolute minimum. And wholesale has its benefits in that it's predictable. You don't have to work hard to get reviews. One product stops selling, you can always find another product to start selling. You don't have to create the brand. You don't have to create the identity. You know, there's lots of reasons why wholesale has its benefits, but it also does have its detractions in that A, the profit margins aren't as high, and B, there is a value in brands. And now I would hazard a guess that Amazon are really working hard to build these brands, to build assets in their company. Jeff Bezos, despite the fact that he's been in the news recently for all the wrong reasons, in terms of business, he's not a stupid guy. You know, he's a smart guy, and he realizes that the value of a company is so much in the assets that company holds. It's not just in the cash flow. Cash flow is great for lots of reasons. Cash is king, right? But in terms of long-term value for the company, that is going to be held in the assets of that company. And actually brands, 76 different private label brands, is they are in the process of building assets within the identity of Amazon. So I believe that's why they're doing it. And let's finally talk about how are they doing it. Well, the first step of building a private label brand, if you're new to Amazon, selling on Amazon, the first step is you've got to find products to sell. You've got to find products that have the right mix of demand and competition and the opportunity to offer something new to the market. And then the next step you need to take is you need to find a supplier. There are many suppliers. You will be amazed, my friends, when they see what I do as a business and what we've created and the products that we have actually created in our own brands, the kind of packaging that we do and the final built product that we actually create. They're amazed that this is possible. So many people think that these products that you see on your shelves are they're not attainable because they're only attainable to big supermarket chains or big brands, but actually there are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of manufacturers, suppliers all across the world, not just in China, that are ready to custom make the product that you deem as to be something that you can build a private label brand with. And so the next step is finding a supplier that's going to build you a great product. And then what you need to do is then, of course, build that product and create the branding around it, and make sure you do source a great product, so that one that's going to sell and is going to build a healthy brand for you. The next step is to then, once those goods have been produced, is to ship them to Amazon's warehouses. I sell in the UK and Europe mainly, somewhat in the US, but I focus on the UK and the EU because of the incredible opportunity it is right now. And the beauty of this business, selling on Amazon, is that I never actually touch any of the products that we sell. Our suppliers will finish producing the goods, they will ship them on to a container. The container will go onto a boat. That boat will come from China to the UK, usually like Felixstowe or somewhere like that, a big port in the UK, and then those goods will get transported to an Amazon warehouse directly, and then they will start selling on Amazon, and Amazon will actually do all the work of picking, packing, sending those products out. So I don't see them. What I focus on is building products, building brands, building marketing, and that is the focus for me, which is the final step of how to build a private label brand, is your marketing of your products. And this is what I love, is because we get to spend a lot of time and energy into really building the awareness of our product, building great marketing campaigns, and that's the final step of how you build a private label brand. I've really summarized it and made it sound maybe easier than it is. Certainly not easy to do this. It's a lot simpler than people think. It's certainly not easy. It takes hard work, right? But if this is something you're interested in, if you're interested in building a saleable asset, building something of value that Amazon deemed to be worthy of a whole lot of investment of their time and energy, so maybe it's worthy of your time and investment. If it is something that you think you may be interested in, I've got a free ebook, which the link will be in the description for below, which you can get for free, no obligation. Check it out, read up about the Amazon FBA and private label business model combo, see if it's something that you might be interested in. And if I can help with anything, and if I can help you get started and build one of these private label brands, maybe you're the next anchor. Maybe your brand is the next anchor that could be a global success. I would love to help you on that journey. Please reach out to me if I can. If you need more convincing, check out this video below that tells you all about how Amazon are desperate for more sellers. And make sure that if you do want to build a business that brings you financial freedom, that helps you to be freed up to live the life that you dream of, and to make an impact on the world, then do click my face below, click subscribe, and stay tuned for more content coming up. And I will see you in the next video.